All right, let's get started. Welcome everyone. I hope everyone's going well today. We also have Socks back. Here she is. Oh, there we go. She's still a little grumpy. Look at those grumpy eyes. She's like, how dare there be Paddy in this place? Well, he's not in the study, Socks. All right, he's out there on the couch in his own little zone. How's everyone going? I hope everyone's going well. Tonight we have got some feedback on the API, which we're going to implement tonight. So yeah, I'm excited for that. In fact, we will jump into our Discord very, very quickly. We'll go down here. So there we go, API discussions. So one of the I'm gonna grab this. Oh, I don't have the. Oh damn it! I don't have the cord. We'll just have to do text. One of the recommendations was if, let's say, we got a project and instead of getting the object data from another URL or something like that, we could just go and go group and users like this. Make that bigger for everyone. So the idea was we could potentially do this. That way. And hey, the Bob I know, how are you going? Happy Friday? Yes, I'm awake today, unlike Wednesday, where I only had 2 hours sleep and decided not to stream because I would go crazy. So yes, what we want to do is we want to see if this is plausible. There's a couple of other URLs that I will keep the same, but yeah, we'll figure it all out. So the idea here is that we'll go to that. Yeah, all right. So the pattern. So if we do this, I'm just going to put the pattern in blue. So the pattern will be API version 0. That will be the version. And then we've got the destination, followed by the location ID, followed by the object data that it is wanting to request or change or something like that. Doing all right, just making some plans for Sunday brunch. Fair enough. So, yeah, that's going to be how it's going to be set up at the moment. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Alright, sorry, I'm getting distracted with the cube. I need to put this down. Also need to learn a few more algorithms for it. Okay. Ooh. And I see, sorry, a Slack message. But yeah, no, that's fine. Sorry, I've just gotta do that, set that up. All right, sweet. All right, so let's jump into the code. This is the Docker one. Just gonna go git branch, git pull, the usual sort of things we do at the start. And we can close all of this. So I did some fixes yesterday. Which means, so we got the 2FA out. Which means we want to focus on the API. I'm trying to remember what I said I was going to do this month. Sorry, I'm getting a bit distracted. So we want to update that. Yep. For the month of April, we'll be implementing these requests for change, deploying it. Alright, there's the ads. Alright, cool. And here is socks wanting to be padded. Now, my desk looks really, really clean at the moment. However, if we actually go over here, it's a bit of a mess. But clean here. Alright, how are we with the ads? About 50 seconds to go. Also got to do my exercises today. Gonna hit the fan. Oh, I can reach all the way up. Alright, cool. Oh, and we should be back. Oh no, 24 seconds. All right, my clock is running fast. My internal clock is running fast. Usually I'm okay with getting it. All right. There we go. And we're all back. Welcome back, everyone. The cat seems to know where to stare at the camera. Yes, I think she just copies what I do. And she just stares. Oh, sweetie, we love you. She's like, damn right. She's a bit angry still because of the patty. So yeah, we want to focus on the API. We've done two-factor authentication. I'm going to put a little tag down here to be like completed. So yeah, we're going to start doing the phase 0, which will require us getting all of that done. And then hopefully during the month of May we can do those. Hopefully this month. It would be great if we can get those all done. Because that pushes forward the timeline. I don't know if I heard a door knock. Alright, so let's go into here. We want to go into NearBeach. We want to remember where I put everything. Views API. Now, object data. Alright, so we also want to open up the API in here. So in here, we've got a couple of patterns. We've got project, and then we've got object data and all that kind of thing, all that kind of stuff. We're finding out if we can do this without being overly complicated. Once again, I prefer simple code. So the thing is, I'm gonna have some of my tea. The thing is, I don't know if we can get to those. So I'm just going to comment that one out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go route to register. And then we've got R. And then I'm going to have destination. Object. Not object data. Destination, location, ID. And then, oh, thank you, socks. Thank you. And then groups and users. And then once again, we've got the group and user API view, and then we go group and user group and user view set. Base name equals group and user. Now the reason why I'm putting after project is because it'll hit project and then it'll hit this. But I don't know how well this will work. So yeah. Oh, I should grab the thing for this. Ah, well, doesn't matter. Clean desk. Well, clean for about here. All right, this is started. Let's go into localhost. Let's go API. Oh yeah, API version 0. Now we've got destination location. So if I go project 1, authentication credentials were not provided. Oh. I guess I've got to open up Postman. Alright, give me a couple of seconds. Sorry, I've got to set up the chat and everything like that so I can read you guys in there. Also making sure I've got live chat for YouTube. Yes, I do. Alright, cool. So we're not doing the Django random test. We're doing the Django REST framework. We've got we've got the team leader. We're going to get project 2. Oh, piss. Valid token. Yeah. Oh, I'm not logged in. All right. Let's try this again. You do not have permission for this action. All right. That's not a problem. Alright, easy done. We grab this, we jump over here, we just paste this in. Everyone's going to be fine and dandy. Do you know whether anyone runs NearBeach in production? Yes. Yeah, there's a couple of people who do. So, yeah. 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 Nocturnal does. I think Adrian does. And then there's been a couple of people who put in bug request, bug issues and stuff like that. So, all right, this was working the other day. So project 2, they should definitely have access. Yeah, the authorization token. It's just that. So I'll double check it by. Yeah, it's just that. I've got 200. Now, I don't know if it's anything I've done, so I'm just going to undo that. All right, it isn't that, so we're going to redo that. So, what I want to do... Let's open up Team Leader. Hang on a minute. It's a blank install. Alright, no wonder why there's no permissions or anything like that. Nothing exists. So I'm going to stop this. I'm just going to remove the database. That's perfectly fine. Python 3, manage, migrate. Get everything put into there. Python 3, manage, load data. That will be from NearBeach, fixtures, and then NearBeach basic setup. All right, cool. And now we can run. Sweet. We'll need to redo this, but that's not a problem. So what we'll do is we'll jump into the admin. Oh yeah, we don't actually have this anymore. Reverse for login not found. Login is a function name. All right, give me a second. I can't create the API yet. And welcome, Spooky Rabbit. How are you? We are working on an open source project management system called NearBeach. So yeah, this is it. We're going to put it into dark mode. Give me 2 seconds. So this is it at the moment. All right. I'm just trying to think. Oh, I should be able to just log in as admin. And then I should be able to go into admin up here. Yeah, there we go. So at the moment, we haven't implemented the auth tokens whatsoever. So we're going to be implementing that right now. So we're going to add a token in. We're going to go for admin user. We're just going to save. Done. Save and add another. We're going to be like, all right, so team leader, save. There's our team leader one. We're just going to copy that very, very quickly. We're going to jump over into Postman. We're going to paste that in and we're going to hit play. All right, and we can do that over here now. So we can just go API version 0 project 1. Now we don't actually have permissions for 1, but we do for 2. Also, another thing you will be watching a lot of here is my cat Socks causing trouble. She looks like she isn't going to cause trouble right now, but she will get up, sit on my mouse, and press keys on the keyboard. And I'm hoping she doesn't try raiding someone again. Alright, so we've got this now, but I don't know if that will work. However, we'll look at the URLs, see how I've done it in here. So that's just the path. Yeah, I should put int in there. But yeah, I don't know if that R is going to work. Oh, yeah, she's a tuxedo. She's 11 now. Yeah, she's getting old. Okay, so we've got this. This is perfectly fine. We want to hit group and user. And it looks like we can't. It does register it there. Now the thing is, this could be because this is ahead of that. Face is my cat. He looks just like her, but if he was a fair enough. Yep. There's a lot of tuxedos that look alike. She does have a couple of doppelgangers. There's another cat around my place that looks like her. We call him the derpy cat because the body looks exactly like her, but the face doesn't, and the face looks really derpy. So it's absolutely hilarious when we see him. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to hit reload. Now we've got a problem. It's just because it's taking its time. It doesn't like that either. So what I'm going to do is going to have a look down here. So we just got it as a plain sort of thing. We don't have the R stuff. If I get rid of the R, yeah, I'm just playing around with this. We're gonna wait for everything to reboot. There we go. Just hit refresh. Yeah, it doesn't like the destination. Okay, no problem. So Django API. URL patterns. Let's have a look. So we've got routers. All right. Sorry, I'm just pouring myself a cup of tea. And don't forget to drop everyone, exclamation point, drop followed by your favorite emoji. I'm going to do Toby Tripod. Alright, so some web frameworks such as Rails provide functionality for automatically determining how the URLs for an application should be mapped to the logic that deals with handling incoming requests. Yep, the REST framework adds support for automatic URL wrapping to Django and provides you with a simple, quick and consistent way of wiring the Vue logic to the set of URLs. Alright. That cup of tea is hot. The two mandatory arguments, the register, yep, prefix and did. All right, cool. What I'm after is pattern ones. Yeah, like this. URLs, user, primary key, set passwords, $. Yeah, no, that's stock standard. Alright. Yeah, this is what I'm after. Implementing a custom router isn't something you'll need to do often, but it can be useful if you have specific requirements about how the URLs and your API is structured, which we kind of do. Doing so allows you to encapsulate the URL structure in a reusable way that ensures that you don't have to write URL patterns explicitly for each view, which we don't want to do, because there's just going to be heaps of them. You could use a simple for loop to loop through all of the cases and stuff like that, but no. Okay. So route URL equals prefix That's kind of what we want. Dynamic route. Okay. So going back here. Now, how they've got it? They've got routes. They've got it like that. Okay, they've got it. Oh, that's in the. Okay. hang on, let me get the proper wording. So example, so the int year, int month, and all that kind of stuff, they're going to be variables. Capture values that can optionally include a converter type. Yep, all right, cool. All right, yep. Okay. Passing attributes in the URL. URL patterns. Yep. All right. That's. I did to pass URLs from Django REST there. Okay. Okay. Let's. Destination, location ID, and then we want group and user, and it's going to be group and user API view dot group and user view set, and the base name, it'll just be name equals group and user. Okay, and their socks. Nice to meet you. Now I've just got to hit the refresh on this, because sometimes it doesn't actually capture this working. All right, cool. Has pass. Oh, whoops. There we go. This is a bit of a long line. We will be if this works, we will be breaking this down. Oh, piss. Okay, no problem. Let's break this down. So this will have a get, a list. We're just going to leave it at that for the moment. All right, bingo. If I go here and I hit enter, page not found. Oh, still not finding it. It's right there though. Okay, let's go in here. URL patterns that. No, because additional info, if you combine the past things, all right, no, we need multi-level URLs in this. And the thing is, we don't want to create one of these for everything. Like Like if I go in here and I change this to project, I don't think location ID will work, but we'll try it out. I need to restart the server because it's part of the URLs. If I go back into here, wherever it is, here it is. Hang on a minute. Am I missing something? Okay. No. All right. If I copy that. Yeah. It's not finding it. If I remove that. I'm going to paste it at the end. We're just playing around today. We're just seeing if this is plausible. Can't find that. Alright, now it's found it. So I'm going to slowly undo what I've done to see what breaks it and what doesn't. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to paste it back up the top. I'm going to take off the comment out. So we've got that up the top first. All right, so it is finding it correctly now. If I go in here and I go int location ID, still finding it. All right, it looks like looks like I can kind of do this. All right, we just got to start fixing up the errors to see if this is plausible. If it is plausible, we'll start rolling this out for the other ones up here. We will skip coffee, of course. Coffee is just a Easter egg. We will also skip these three because this is available data. All right, so available data, for example, you might want to get all the tag lists, the sprint lists, and the customer lists. I keep dropping the pen. So yeah, that's available. All right, so what I want to do is let's find this particular issue. So set object not set is not sub. All right, cool. So what I want to do, I want to jump into here. I want to go into our object data and we're opening up the view for the API. Now I can close this. We're just focusing on this. So down here, we've got the view set and all that kind of stuff. We've got the self, we've got the request and all that information. Now I'm just putting a breakpoint here because it'll tell me whether or not we get into here. And it's just a quick, easy way to, yeah, we didn't get into it. So what I want to do, I want to get into here. We're not getting that far either. So okay, let's read the document, the error note. Let's find out what's happening. So set object is not subscriptable. Oh, and we're on ads. All right. Ad time. How's everyone going? Hopefully everyone's going well. For those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour to stop pre-rolled ads on Twitch. However, you're on YouTube, you don't get any sort of ads. So yeah, welcome. We've got some recommendations for our API or requests to change in our API, so we're implementing those. And once again, because we only did it for a vertical slice of NearBeach, it means we only have to do it for this particular section, and then once we're actually happy with it, we can then expand it out. We can actually start implementing the API for the other sections for version 1. And once version 1 is done, I think during version 1 we'll be implementing the getting the API keys. So that will be done. They'll be done at the administration level, not on the users themselves. The users shouldn't be able to do this. This should be an admin sort of thing. So yeah. And that's another bit of feedback which we'll get from clients. So yeah. Anyway, we are almost back. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a fun time. Let's continue reading this. So under the view set, so REST framework, view sets, line editor, and view, NearBeach, object, group and user view set. All right, so that's exception, that's base, that's, yep. REST framework, view sets. If get in actions and head is not in actions. All right. That should be working. All right. Is it because I put it down here, it's a little confused? No problem. What we'll do is we'll comment out that piece of code for the moment, and we'll try and re-implement something up here. So we'll have the router.register. Now they've got the R. We want to go project to group and user / we don't have any of the / on the other ones. I'm going to do that for the moment. Then we want group and user like that, and then we want group and user view set. And then we've got the base name equals group and user. And we won't need a comma at the end of it. So we'll just have to refresh the server. Socks has started to lick me. Gotta get my hand away. All right, so now that we've done that, if I go refresh, we've reached this now. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to hit play. And yeah, that's understandable. Those particular fields. So these socks. What I want to do and we don't want to get rid of security for this. Full stop. That's a what I want to do is I want to have a look at the project API. And I want to scroll down. So check user API permission. So we've got that. Just putting that one over there. If we check this one, API object data permission. So we've got something a little bit different. And we actually grab, we grab that data from the serializer. However, now because we're moving it away from being put, I'll show you guys. Now we're moving away from actually having that sort of data in the body. Let me, object data, team leader, group and user. So for example, in here, we've got the destination location ID in there. We're moving away from that now. So some of this will be done fairly easily. So what I'm going to do that. Up here, I'm going to go destination and location ID. And then we've got our args and quags. And I'm going to put a breakpoint here. So we're going to go back into here. We're going to hit refresh. Location ID. I've mucked something up. Yeah, we don't have that in there at the moment. Oh, there's a couple of things I got to fix. All right, hang on. I'm jumping ahead. So we're going to do that. We find that this reaches here. So if we put a breakpoint here and we hit refresh, we hit that breakpoint, we're happy. Okay, so if we go into here, we then go int location ID. I have to wait for that to... Now that's not found. Now, that being said... I don't know if that will work. No. What if I copy that? Don't know if this will work. All right. That looked like that worked. Hang on, hang on. That worked. Okay. So, Django router regex. This is using the old Django stuff. Oh yes, and don't forget to drop, exclamation point dropped. And hello, Alvadoodle, how are you? Welcome back, hope you've been good. I'm going to do Shock Max. Now, I do recognize this. This is from a very, very old way of doing things. And I think I can change that to location ID, but we won't for the moment. Okay, so if I go Django, type that in, I go into here, there we go. That's what I want. We've got the year, we've got the month, and we've got slug. And I'm just wondering, Django URLs, what is this called? Oh, this is regular expressions. So string options. All right, let's use string and regex. All right. They got it like that. Okay, cool. Let's put that in there. I'm just gonna have, yeah, it'll be like that. We're still hitting this, which is great. Now, I just want to double check that we're not ruining the URLs. Sweet, we're still getting there. So if I hit refresh with this, we're definitely getting into the here. All right, I think I figured it out. So we need to do something like this. And we need to start getting rid of this data in there. Easy. All right, cool. The hard part of all of that was pretty much this section here. And what we need is destination and location ID. And then the location ID will be an integer. So I want to go back into the Django URLs. We've got a 0 to 9, and that's it. We're not worried about pages or anything like that. Page number 0 to 9 plus. That's what we want. Like so. And that's question mark P. Yep. And then that will be page blah, blah, blah. Yep. So we're kind of happy with that. That should still work. Failed. All right. Easy enough. Let's undo stuff. It was working then. So if I hit refresh, that's an error occurred. All right. Sweet. I've broken everything. Hang on. Let's hit refresh again. Okay, not a problem. Ah. Okay. I'm going to undo that because at the moment the screen's enough. So we've got to here. Let's actually fix up the URLs first. So what we want in here is we want a 0 to 9 and then plus, and that's perfectly fine. So we're just doing this one at a time. I do apologize. There we go, perfect. And then what we need to do is we need to go location ID in here. We need it to be correct. And I didn't even hit escape, thank you very much. All right, this is working perfectly fine. So down here, what we want to do is we want to do open close bracket. Inside the brackets, we want to do a P and then destination, like so. And then we need to do the word thing, which people have just done /word. And then a plus at the end. And it looks like that is working perfectly fine. So our next thing is, where in the hierarchy can this go? So quickly do that. All right. Doesn't matter where on the hierarchy. I'm happy with this. It might be the case that we do something like this. We have all the known objects at the top, and then what we do is then we have these sorts of things going down. So what I want to do now is I want to put a breakpoint here, and I want to type in here destination and location ID as such. And then we're just going to hit this. Got argument for multiple. Yep. Multiple values for destination. All right, I'm going to undo all of that. We're going to have that there. We're just going to hit refresh. We're going to hit this. And then we've got our args up here. And then inside the args, we're just going to have a quick look. So we've got the request, we've got the quarks, we've got destination, project, and location ID. Perfect. So I'm going to say we'll keep it with the quarks. We just need to essentially comment out this and this. I'm just going to hit play. It's fine. And then we just go... And then we've got generic permissions. We've got the object lookup. All right, this is one of those sort of moments where this is generic. I don't know where else we're actually using this particular thing. So we're going to click on this and we're going to have a quick look. So we're using it in all the object permissions too. All right, at the moment, we're not going to refactor this. What we're going to do is we're going to go down here and we're going to go, all right, like so. What we'll do is when we actually do migrate the database and do all that kind of stuff is we'll come back into this, and because we'll move everything to the API, we can be like, all right, we need to refactor some of the permissions because we can simplify it. So instead of actually getting out the args and quarks here and so forth like that, in fact, we can get rid of this one line. Oh, hang on a minute. Get rid of that. We've got destination equals quarks destination. So yeah, instead of actually doing something like this and then passing it through like that, we'll just pass the quarks through the generic permissions and it should figure it out for us. It might be the case that we don't need generic permissions if we actually go into this implementation. I mean, it's nice to have this extracted out. And it does look like I'm using it in multiple different places. But yeah, once again, we'll have a look at all of this, see if we can actually simplify the code. Because it will be great if we can. And I think that's one of the main aims with implementing the API and implementing the new database structure and all that kind of stuff, which it will happen in 0.32 range. After we implement the GDPR wizard and story points. So yeah. Okay, so if I hit refresh, we hit here. Now passes through, all that kind of stuff. All right, I'm just gonna hit play. It's still saying that is needed. What? It's the next step in here. It requires it too. So deserialization. Because yeah, we've got the serializator in there. All right, that's no longer needed. I don't know if I can have the args and quarks in here, so I'm just going to keep this in here. Flat pack the variables. So we've got destination equals quarks destination. And then location ID equals quarks, and then location ID. All right, cool. I don't think I need to null check these. The reason being is the URL, the router itself should be essentially removing all of these. Yeah. And then if I go back into here and I hit refresh, boom. All right, cool. So yeah, that's all we need to actually do. Yeah, it looks like we can serialize the simplify the code, which is nice. I mean, if I don't need that deserializer, it will definitely simplify everything, because now we've got everything in the URL and it has to pass that route to actually get into here to pass in the things. But if I put in something like 2A, it doesn't pass the route. So it's not passing 2A into the permissions and stuff like that. So yeah. But if I pass in something like, let's say project 10, I don't have permissions. So it actually checks it. Now, the reason it comes back with no permissions is essentially it's not a 404. It should be a 404, but yeah, it's just not. You there? You okay there, Socks? Get used to that smell. All right, so let's start deleting code we don't need. It's pretty simple. So that was for the list. I can come down here and I can delete this because we've got it. We've got it up here. I'm gonna leave these ones in here for the moment. We'll go through them one by one and knock them down. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting distracted with the cube again. Terribly sorry. Okay, so we're happy with that. That should all work perfectly fine. And then, yeah. Now we're going to do the other components. So this is with the list. We're going to start from the very, very top and work our way down. We've got the create. Now, once again, we won't need this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, cool. We don't need those. What we do need, though, is the quarks. I know there's a shortcut to actually do this. I keep forgetting how to do it in Vim. Something I've got to learn. Oh, hold on. No, I'm wrong. Okay, group and user serializer. If we actually go to that implementation, we've got this. We won't need the location ID. No, so we no longer need this in here. This will then become from REST framework dot views, import the view. And then in here, oh no, wait, this isn't the views. Sorry, give me a couple of seconds. It's been a couple of weeks. So destination serializer. Just importing the serializers, yep. Like so. So we're no longer extending the destination serializer. So the destination serializer in itself is just the destination location in there. We won't need that information. So we can actually remove it from here without any problem. It will simplify this. So we go through, whoops, we got the query set data, which I really should put in here. Well, there was a reason why group.objects.filter is deleted equals false. All right, cool. Yeah, we got it like that, and then we got the user request, user results. Yeah, I don't know why I did it like that. Let's be consistent. Let's do that. So this is pretty simple. So someone could go through here and be like, all right, cool. There's 4 fields. One is the group, where many is files. One is user, many files. And then you got group list and user list. All right, cool. Easy done. So I can close this. We need to delete data that's in here. So we no longer need any of this. I mean, if we're just using it for that, in this sort of case, what I want to do is I want to do that. It makes a lot more sense. We're not grabbing a value, putting it in memory, then grabbing and referencing that. We just do it straight like this. That simplifies that. Easy done. And then we don't need that anymore. Don't need the status anymore. And we don't need the response anymore. So we're actually also doing a lot less work too, which is great. Speeds everything up a little bit, but only tiny amount. So not noticeable. Okay, so we've got the object data permission. We've got the create. So we'll serialize the data, which we're happy with. We're flat packing the results. So if I go down here, it'll just be for those. And once again, the URL will sort of cut out anything that it doesn't match our pattern. So these will always be in there as a destination and as a location ID. So got that. Got the groups and use it. We might have to state whether or not, but then the permissions should actually do that. So what actually happens is the permissions will look in a particular way and be like, does this exist? Sorry, I should do it. It does do a check. For the it should do a check for the permissions. All right, that's one thing we'll need to test out. Oh, and we've got another ad break. Okay, for those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour. On Twitch, you guys don't get ads. This is just to stop anyone who joins the channel getting the pre-rolled ads. So yeah, otherwise we sit here, we talk about the project, and we don't do any work so no one misses out. You get to see me do the Rubik's Cube, my little fidget machine. So yeah. Okay. Oh, almost done. I'm not fastest, but there we go. Alright, about 30 seconds left to go. Hopefully everyone's going well. We're slowly re-implementing these changes. We're slowly implementing these changes for the API that were recommended to us. Once again, we've just taken a vertical slice of NearBeach to apply the API to. So these changes are only happening on that vertical slice, and once we're actually happy, we'll actually then deploy it for the other objects of NearBeach, and we'll follow the exact same pattern. The best thing is, it's going to be easy for us. And welcome back, everyone. Also, hi from YouTube. I'm enjoying the stream. Thanks. Thank you very much, David. So yeah, welcome. Okay, so going in, we're not after the project API view because that hasn't changed. It is the groups and users one. So the serializer, the group and user serializer, no longer has the destination and location ID in there or required because it's in the URL. So we get to here and we're happy. It then pulls out the groups and user list. This is just flat packing. Essentially, it's just grabbing all these variables and putting it into something easy, so I don't need to constantly type these in the code. Excuse me. So a lot of this is exactly the same. And the reason being is because we flat packed early on, and then we use those results, and we just change the reference. So that create should now work. Now, one way we can test this is we can go into here. I keep forgetting to delete. No, we'll save all of that. We're just gonna close all tabs. We're just gonna save all changes because we're hoping all the changes are, worth it. I am going to look in object data. We want team leader. We want groups and users. So we've got the list. We're going to change this very, very quickly. So it will no longer be object data. We'll go, let's say project 2 and group list. We'll delete this data from in here. That should save. Now the authorization. We can't inherit that. All right, not a problem. We're just going to go over here. We're just going to copy this. We're just going to make sure that this is perfectly fine. All right, needed to be changed. There we go. We've got some data now. If we actually change this to 1, we will fail the permission check. So, all right, so that is working how we want it. Cool. Anyway, let's jump into creating one. So with this, I'm just trying to remember how we've done this. So location ID and destination now get rid of. We're getting rid of that. So object data, let's go project 2 once again. I think this just works. Invalid token. All right. When I say it just works, I mean I've got to place in there the correct token. There we go, created. So now we actually have data in there, which is awesome. So that is also working, which is great news. Now with the delete, we haven't actually done anything about the delete. So we're gonna scroll down. So we've done the create. Now we've got the destroy. So with the serializer, that's going to be pretty much the same. It's just this down here, which is going to be quarks. And that should only destroy stuff in this group. We can make a double check by doing that. Let's hit the delete. Let's save this. Let's save this. We get rid of the destination and location ID. We're going to go remove user. Authorization. We're going to paste that one in. And we're just going to hit save. 404 not found. That's just because I didn't go up here and go project 2. Easy done. We're just going to hit save. I should also try and make this bigger. So sorry for those trying to read the tiny text. Yeah, that comes through perfectly fine. I don't know why I was second guessing that. And yeah, done. And that sends back the results we need. Okay. Easy done. Sweet. That's probably going to be the same of what we're going to be doing with the other object data endpoints. We will need to remove some code and all that kind of stuff. So like that one. Okay. So we've done one endpoint. So I'm happy. I'm going to remove that now. Now we're just got to do these other endpoints. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I've only done that just to put them there. And there's a good reason why. Because what I can do, because they've got the same pattern, I can just do this very, very quickly. Oops, that's meant to be a plus. And there. Cool. Now, so I'm just making sure this is all in alphabetical order still. So what we want to do is we still want to keep all of that. Cool. We could put this on multiple different lines, much like how we do everywhere else and stuff like that, which we'll probably end up having to do. I don't know why it's complaining about that. Oh yeah, it's complaining because, yeah, it's over multiple lines. Can you not sit on my keyboard? Alright, cool. Let's start with the link view set. Easy done. So, we're not worried about the get list. That's an internal function. That will be passing through its own things and stuff like that. We're not worried about that at all. So, object data permission. This is with the create. Now, I don't know if that's using the correct decorator. So we've got a bunch of decorators that check the permissions and stuff like that. In this sort of case, I think it is the correct one because I'm pretty sure we made all the changes on this one. Yeah, we did. I recognize that code I did today. So that is fine. We're happy with that one. So to create the serializer, the link serializer will need to change. So I am going to go into that implementation right now. We're going to open up the import. We're going to be like, oh, wait, it's serializer. So I'm not too worried about this at all. We're just going to make sure that the destination location ID, so the destination is in there. That will now be part of... And that's importing the object array, no longer needed. That is part of the URL. And then we just got to get location ID. Which, all right, cool. We're getting rid of, we don't need those anymore. Going down here, we can see that when it's post, destination location ID are required. we're just getting rid of that. And when it's delete, they're also required, but they're the only thing that in there, so we're just removing that now. So this looks fine. I think this is, yeah, it's just to stop it from crashing on here. And then object relation, that's only required when we've got the post. So otherwise it is not needed. So yeah, we're simplifying this. So this is now a little bit easier to use. All right, cool. So we're going to go into here. We're going to go link serializer. All right, cool. If serializer. All right. So the destination location ID. That's now getting from quags. And then this is flat packing. So this just puts everything in there and nothing else needs to change in here, which is awesome. I'm liking this. All right, with the destroy going through here, once again, we just flat pack this. So we're happy with that. And once again, it's got to go through the URLs to get to here. So the quags will definitely have that information. And then we've got the remove object, the destination location. Yep, we're fine with that list. Once again, going through here. So we've got all of that. All right. That's pretty simple. And I'm quite happy with that. I'm just realizing hopefully the others are going to be this quick because, well, essentially that just means we can just get rid of a lot of this. If we can move this on, which will be awesome. So yeah, I'll probably start implementing the documentation tonight rather than implementing the other objects. All right, so what I want to do is from here, well, it's not complicated. Oh, am I using... All right, there's a reason why I'm using that. There's another object somewhere else in the code and so forth like that. We'll end up putting these in particular use cases and so forth like that. All right, so typing import from lists, we no longer need that. So yeah, I'm happy with this one. We can close that, we can close that. Oh, yeah, we won't need that one open. So that one's done. The note view list. We're just going to go to the implementation. Double check the permission on the note for the notes API. Do we use special permissions? No, we might have a custom permission for organization. But okay, yep, this needs testing. I'm going to leave those notes in there purposely because yeah, when we go to implement the organization API and stuff like that, I need this. Anyway, I'm terribly sorry. I need to go to the bathroom very, very quickly. I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Should have gone during the ad break. Alright, so I'm going to leave those permissions up there. That's perfectly fine. Get list, that's perfectly fine. That's an internal thing. So create, with the note serializer, we're going to remove the destination serializer. So we're just going to type in serializer, easy, done. We're going to open up our import and get rid of that from there. So we're quite happy with this. We do have to go down here, destination location ID. If request is not in self context, we're just going to return fields. We don't need to worry about that. Otherwise, if it's a get object note is required false. Yep, all right, that makes sense. If it's delete, required false. All right, that also makes sense. So that is perfectly fine. That's been shrunk down. With the note API, we go through here. Once again, location ID. Will now be just part of Quarks. Yeah. And once again, we will be testing all of this tonight. We have all of our API tests. We also need to start writing in unit tests for a lot of these. So yeah, that will happen rather shortly. And once again, we'll start with the projects and then we'll move into implementing it for the other objects. So yeah. Okay, sorry, I'm just getting distracted with the cube again. Okay, so that should all be fine because once again, we're going to start from there and all of this is for flat packing from there. The note serializer, we're happy with that one. Once again, we just go like this and we just go quarks, easy done. All of this information should be all the same and we'll be happy with that. The same with this one. I'm happy how I coded this. I am so glad. I was like, you know what? I'm going to flat pack this because it's going to annoy me later on. And presto, I just need to change it in one spot. So yeah, so glad I did that. All right, so we've got all the data like that. Oh, update. We haven't done update yet. So cool. Node API should be done. The object sprint view. Fancy, I know. So, up here. Okay, so we're just going to skip all of that. We're going to have a look at this particular one in here. Once again, we're going to open up this. We're going to be like, nah, this will be part of serializer. Well, we don't need that. So, going in here, we go down. If there's no context, we just return fields. All right. Oh, sorry. If there's no request in context, we just return everything. Once again, that's just a null case check, whatever. For these down here. So, sprint names, start, and all that. All right. So, we're fine with all of that. Cool. So this is create sprint. And I'm having the feeling that this might be the one that is a bit different. Who knows? I don't. But we'll find out when we test. Just because I don't know if we're looking, if we're, hang on, my brain's on, it's doing the beach ball. Alright, we're going to thoroughly test the sprints, we're going to double check how it's going to work. I do believe that we are passing the destination location ID for all the connections and stuff like that, but considering we now have that in the URL, I think this will work perfectly fine. So we've got the sprint submit. Yeah, we just changed that, so we're all happy with that. So the list. We've got the quags. All right, so we're happy with that. Yeah, it's the create sprint. That happens on, yeah, in certain cases. Cool. Sorry, I just got a message. Aww. All right, cool. Sorry about that. Getting distracted with cats. I don't know why that's got a squiggly line. Oh, no. Undo. Definitely don't want to do any of that. All right, cool. So, I'm happy with that. And now we've just got the tag view. Once again, we go into implementation. We do this. We're going down here. We are just having a look at the tag serializer. So we're going to go to implementations. Once again, we are not extending that. We're going to go serializer. So we're all happy with all of that. We've got the get fields, request, destination, location ID. All right, we don't need that. Tag list. All right, cool. So simplified this, and then that's actually requiring that. Sweet. Then with the tag IP, we go down here, and we're no longer using this. So we go to quags. All right, cool. Going down with this one. Cool. Easy done. All right. Getting rid of an unwanted line of code. Perfect. All right. So now we got a test, and we do have all our tests, but this is on a very, very tiny screen. So I'm going to zoom in for you guys, and that button's not working. So I'm going to have to do this the long way. It's even longer when I click the wrong button. All right, cool. So we've just done this particular one. We want to do the links now. I want to go over here. I want to, sorry, copy this one little bit of code. I want to go back into here. We're going to have a look at the links. So we can get rid of the destination location ID. We're going to go up here. We're going to type in project 2 because that's only who we have access to. And then we're going to do that. We're going to hit save. We're going to hit send. I hopefully don't have a breakpoint. No. Internal server error. Ooh. So we're going to copy this. We're going to go over here. We're going to go in here. We're going to do something like this. We're going to do that. And we're going to hope for the error to show. But we've got debug mode on, and it's not telling us what the error is. So I've done something wrong. And that wrong thing might be because I need to actually stop the server and reboot the server. No, it looks like I've actually screwed up massively. Yeah, I have. Oh, no. Oh, no. Let's see where else this is relevant. So I'm just also jumping over here right now. I'm just gonna knock these out and do a token in there and hit root. Yeah, I've done it in the notes section. Is it still in here? No, this runs perfectly fine. Alright, cool. Yeah. We're not getting any other information. So, we're going to breakpoint this until it tells me what's gone wrong. But this is part of the fun. Alright. And I've most likely done the exact same wrong thing in pretty much all of it. So, let's start with links. So I'm going to close all tabs. We're going to go link API. We're going to go scrolling down until we hit the list. So there's the create. We don't want the create. We don't want the destroy. We want the list. So I'm going to put a little breakpoint there, and I'm going to see if we can get to it. Best part of refactoring? Yes. Yes, it is. All right, so I am not reaching this. So this is telling me the URLs. So I'm going to go over here. I am... all of that is pretty much the same. I'm going to put in an incorrect URL. I'm going to be a madman. I'm going to be crazy. Ooh, all right. Let's... There we go. Okay, it's not a valid regular expression. Missing. Ooh, alright. Undetermined subpattern at position 24. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to comment out all of these lines. We're going to deal with one at a time. So I'm just going to hit refresh. That one works. Alright, and then I'm going to do this. I'm going to hit refresh. And boom, we have an issue. So... it should be the same as the line above. Ah, there it is. I'm forgetting an ending bracket. So I'm just going to... sometimes it's easy just to do that. And oh my... Alright. Alright. Hang on. Escape. Alright. Try not to destroy everything. Nope. Control V. No. C. Plus brackets. Escape. Alright. There we go. Now, if we go to our API, version 0, something. We want, let's say, our lovely project 2. There's our project 2, everyone, and we want to our link. We want our links. Now, we've got a breakpoint. We're going to remove that breakpoint. We're going to hit play. Now, it's saying that we need the destination location ID. All right, so we haven't quite fixed everything yet, but that's perfectly fine. This is why we test. So I'm going to put we know a breakpoint worked there. I'm just going to put we don't need this. We don't need this serializer. All right, not a problem. Cool. That is working perfectly fine. We're going to have the same problem with the other ones. I almost guarantee at least one of them I've done something similar in there. So if I hit refresh, we get no link data. And if we go over into our... I'm just going to close all tabs. I'm going to save changes because we're quite happy with that. If I close that one and I go link list and we go send, we've got no links. If I duplicate this tab and I go to project information 2 and I scroll down and I go linked object, we have no links in there. So I'm just going to create a very quick link in here. It's just going to be a task. We're just going to do task 2. There we go. There it is. We're all happy. That should now show in here. Ta-da! So what I want to do is, what's our other functionalities? We're going to post links. So we're going to post one again. So we're going to delete that. We're going to delete that. We're going to make sure that the headers have the correct token. We're going to hit save. We're going to have a look at the body. So we've got project 1. We actually want to do task 2. Ooh. And hey, Jay, the developer, how are you going? I don't know if you've just said hi and just hit ads. So... And Lukewarm Skelly, how are you going? Are you in ads? Because I can wait until after the ad break. You are not. All right, cool. I am going to get Socks very quickly. I should be able to summon her. I think I've got... All right. She was here. And for those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch so no one gets pre-rolled ads. Anyway, someone on Twitch has requested treats for Socks. And here she is. So we're going to do that very, very quickly. I'm just going to move this down over here. I think it can go... no, it'll go on the usual spot. Yes. All right, in your bed. Okay. Oh, don't eat my finger. We'll put it on the secret screens. There we go. Yeah, she's got little tiny booties. So, yeah. There. She's not smart, though. Just... Oh, the poor thing. She's adorable, she's cute, she's actually 11 now. But yeah, she shares a brain cell with those ginger cats, let's just say that. Yeah. Yeah. Not the oldest cat I've had, so amputee Amber, who died back in 21, I think, or 22. She got to 15, but yeah, everything just gave out on her, sadly. So yeah, yeah, it's nice having an older cat. Let's just say that. And welcome back, everyone. So what we want to do is we want to add the task with the object relation to the project 2. All right, so what I want to do is I want to double check that I've deleted this. So I'm just going to delete this. We're going to go yes. We're just going to refresh the page to double check so it doesn't belong in there anymore. I'm just going to hit send. So it states that it has created it. So if we go over here and we hit refresh and go to linked objects, there it is again. Sweet. So it's working how we want it to. Oh, and Socks is sitting there. I'll just be like, there you go. She knows what to do. Now the other one is a destroy, and I'm trying to remember. So we've got the destination location ID. The object assignment ID. So that comes through here as object assignment ID, and that's 46. So I'm going to go over here once again. Actually, just before I do that, Socks is licking my hand. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go into here. I'm going to be like this, and I'm going to click on that. Make sure that's the same. I'm just going to hit save. I'm going to hit save there. The destination location ID we won't need. And we said 43, didn't we? So I'm just going to put 43 up here. And yeah, the API is coming along nicely. I've just looked at the wrong spot. Just as Socks is like, you know what, I got my treats. I'm going to go back to bed. Yeah, no, it's coming along nicely. So we had a couple of recommendations, mainly around how to call it with the URL. So we're implementing that today. So it's still in that vertical slice. However, that being said, what I want to do next is do the documentation for the vertical slice. And once that is done, we will go ahead and trying to think. We'll go ahead and start adding in the other objects of NearBeach. So, for example, tasks and stuff like that. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm happy with it. So, yeah. And because of how I programmed it, getting those changes in, the hardest part was getting the URLs to match up and stuff like that. And I absolutely forgot we could do regex. It wasn't until I actually had a look at the thing and, oh yeah, regex. We used to do that ages ago. Alright, so it says it deleted? Or didn't I send object not found? Alright, so it says object not found. Give me a couple, 46. That's why. So the idea is you have to key in, alright, let's hit the destroy. Let's click on that. Let's go send. Oh, because I didn't write in project 2 here. Alright, cool. Let's go send. It reaches this. I've just realized that was a big mistake on my behalf. I'm going to hit play. Oh, destination fields are required. And once again, we don't need these. Easy done. This is why we test. I've been battling with Windows blue screen. Oh no. Nothing as clear as the cause. This is not fun. So I actually had to test on Windows for like the first time in ages this week. So I've got a laptop, a work laptop, and I'm keying around on it, just testing. Someone calls me and I'm like, oh yeah, we're doing this, blue screen of death. Luckily, I was on another laptop for the call, but yeah. I was like, oh, blue screen of death. It wasn't us though. Alright, linked objects, delete, done, perfect. If I put in 2 in there, it should only delete one of them and not both of them. So if I go back to the link list and I just select all of them, I'm going to delete number 47. And we go in here, perfect. All right, only deleted one of them. I'm happy with that. So link list is all done. That's all tested. I'm going to close this, and close this. And yeah, definitely save all of those. I'm going to minimize that. We're going to do the notes now. So get notes should be, that should be project 2. So team leader, no, we'll pass hello world. All right, cool. So there's a note in there. The next thing is, I did have the correct, yeah, I did have that on that. Yeah, I did update that correctly. So the body has nothing in it. Sweet. Post notes, once again, destination and location ID are gone. The headers, I just got to make sure I have the correct token in there. Easy done. We're going to go with the body. Yep, we're happy with that. And what I want to do is I want to go project 2 note. I'm just putting a project 2 note into there. It's just going to say hello world. And if I go that, it should do that. So at the moment, now I haven't refreshed the page, so it's going to have the old notes in here. It's just got the one note. If I hit refresh and I click on notes, we've now got hello world in there, but done by the team leader. So I'm happy with that. What we need to do now is, so that's all done. That's all done. I'm happy with that. We didn't have any errors. We're going to delete a note. We're getting rid of the destination location ID. We have to have the note ID. So we need project 2 up here. We're going to do that. We are going to get the notes first because we need an ID from the notes. object note ID 4. So we're going to delete number 4. And we key it up into here. Cool. And that should get rid of hello world from here. Perfect. All right. Sweet. I'm happy. All right. We are done with the notes. Object sprints. So this is the one we got to focus on. So if I get rid of that and I type in project2 in here, so I'll get rid of that and get rid of that, and then we got the headers. We got to actually have that in there, and we hit that. So we actually just created a new sprint. So alt data. Ooh, alt data already has one sprint in there. Oh no, wait, I didn't create. I get the sprints. Sorry. My bad. Alright, post sprint. We'll need to get rid of the destination. We'll need to get rid of the location. We put it up here. We go project 2. The pain is real. Yep. We send that. So now we should have 2 over here. So if we hit refresh, we go into, yeah, we've got 2 in there. I'm quite happy with that. So, yes. I just realized I mucked up the cube there. There we go, perfect. And then that goes like that, and then that goes like that, and that goes like that, and then... Alright, and then... Okay, the next step. So... I'm happy with the sprints. So yeah, definitely happy with the sprints. That's everything what we wanted. And now we've got the tags. So we've got the get tag. Once again, we get rid of the destination, we get rid of the location. Up here, we'll have the project 2. The headers will need the updated key. And what I'll end up doing is all of these will be done in unit tests and stuff like that. So I just need to find out how to do that, and we'll extend it out to all different objects, stuff like that. So yeah, it might mean also, because we're going to be deleting certain objects, that I need to actually create certain objects and fixtures and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll come to that and set that up. And hello, Harish, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. Welcome. We are implementing an API. Well, we're improving our API on NearBeach. So yeah. So where was I? Tags. Yes, get the sprint list. No, get the tag list. Sorry. I'm just gonna close all tabs. Save changes. All right. Paste that in. We've got the project ID. Yep, we're happy with that. So that gets an empty thing. That's perfectly fine. With the tags, what we want is we want project 2. This is posting in. We've got destination location. We're not doing that. I have not set this up. This is post tag. So we're going to put tag in there. So we've got the tag list. I'm just going to a 1. And there we go. And if we do another one, so tag list 2. The tag list 2 object doesn't exist. All right, yep. Yeah, so there we go. We just got those. Easy done. So if we now go into the list and hit this, we get 2. If we go over into here, hit our MISC, we've got no tags in here. If we hit refresh and go to MISC, we've got tags. And now we'll delete those tags. So I need to go project 2 tag, and we've got a couple of IDs associated with the tags. Once again, we've got to delete these. What is NearBeach? NearBeach is an open source project management system. So yeah, it's built using Django and VueJS. We're implementing an API. We're slowly moving all of the front-end calls to the API, which will actually happen in the 0.32 release. We custom built our own sort of endpoints and stuff like that, thinking no one would request an API, but someone requested an API, and yeah, now we're doing it. Oops, dropping the cube. Yeah, so I'll quickly show you NearBeach. So this is NearBeach, pretty simple sort of thing. You can collect organization customers, you've got Kanban boards, you can gather user requirements and break them down into user requirement items. And from there you can create projects and tasks. And when you're ready to deploy, we've got requests for changes, if you've ever had to do a request for change. So yeah, and don't forget people to drop, exclamation point drop followed by your favorite emoji. So yeah, and I got to get that set up to see if YouTube will enable the drop too. So yeah, sorry YouTube. Oh, look at socks go. Yeah, 52.73. Take that, Nightbot. Alright, so we got that on there. So if I get the sprint list, we got tag assignment ID 1 and 2. So in here, what we want to do is we want to go and say, let's get rid of 1 and let's get rid of 2. And then if we refresh this, go to our MISC, boom, no tags. Okay, I'm really happy with that code. So I'm going to push it. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go git status. If I can spell. All right, those are all our changes that we've made tonight. I'm happy. And before I make all of those changes, I realized that I've got to actually get rid of some dead code in here. And it happens. So if we go NearBeach, views, API, object data, go from the top, we've got to just quickly browse to make sure, sorry, not dead code, sorry, libraries that aren't used. We've got to remove any library that isn't used. Because I know, yeah, all right, cool. All right, what is this? API change. So we made a change to the API. What? New API pattern for object data. Now it has the pattern, destination, location ID, object data. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm gonna go over here. We're just gonna look at Circle CI for a minute, because we got a bunch of tests running and stuff like that. Yeah, running. So the other thing we wanted to implement was hang on, sorry, I'm reading. I was silly enough not to put in the documentation and stuff like that. Did I put it in here? No. Alright. Not a problem. Oh yeah, we wanted to exit out of that. So what I want to do, prod, I want to go Kanban information 2. Oh, alright. So I gotta log in. But it's not actually going to go straight to the Kanban board, so I'm just going to have to do a bunch of this stuff for a second. Give me, sorry, it's, alright, that's not me, prod.net, alright, cool. Sweet. And then I want Kanban too. Sweet. Alright, cool. Sorry, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on NearBeach, sorry, prod.NearBeach, which has real customer data in it, and I just don't want to show it. So, yeah. So yeah, here we go. I'm just going to zoom in. We wanted, there it is, implement Swagger for documentation. We also want to implement unit tests. Definitely want to implement unit tests because unit tests have saved me so many times. In fact, the unit test saved me the other week when I was implementing two-factor. So yeah, we found a bug after we sort of refactored the code, and we're like, yeah, we've got to fix this. So yeah. All right, cool. Sorry, I am getting distracted with this. Okay. Okay, let's... All right. API documentation. Swagger takes the manual work out of API documentation with a range of solutions for generating, visualizing, and maintaining API docs. All right, sweet. We want to do this. Download Swagger UI. Swagger UI allows anyone... Is there a dark mode? I'm terribly sorry for those averse to seeing bright lights. Swagger UI allows anyone, be it your development team or your end customers, to visualize and interact with the API's resources without having any of the implementation logic in place. It automatically generates from OpenAPI, formerly known as Swagger, specification with visual documentation, making it easy for backend implementation and client-side consumption. Sweet, this is what we kind of want. I have actually used Swagger in the past as a consumer of a API that I wasn't familiar with. So we just need documentations. So it's like live demo, download Swagger UI. Like, how do we plug it into our code? So Swagger 2, yep, all right, cool. Swagger Hub. Now, we've got sign up for free. All right. I'm glad that redirected, but that was kind of funny. We want to go to read the docs. We also want to find out what the pricing is, because this looks like it's going to be attached with a price tag. Shall not, should not, recommend, not, and this document may be interpreted as described. All right, cool. This is just all lawyer stuff. No, this is not what I wanted. API design. Supported by Smart Bear. All right, I'm just going to click on Get Started. All right. I don't know how to use this tool. Once again, I've only used it as someone who was consuming documentation for an API, and it's been recommended to me a couple of times, so yeah, that's why we're going to be using it and why I've got to learn it. Because your APIs deserves the best. Integrates effortlessly with the tools your team depends on. Centralized design, testing, documentation, exploration in one unified experience. Ultimate silos and unlock innovation. All right, cool. All right. Single source of truth for API development, design, standardize, and collaboration on APIs faster and short APIs. Yep. All right. Cool. Empowered API discoverability delivers seamless API onboarding experience through a branded portal that provides consumers with clear interactive documentation. All right. Cool. Deploy distribution systems with confidence, streamline API integration, microservices testing with bidirectional validation and AI-driven automation, detect errors early, reduce end-to-end testing, and accelerate development. All right, cool. I am just going to read the documentation. Swagger documentation. There we go. We made it. Finally. All right. OpenAI specifications, standard format for defining APIs, ensuring a structure consistency. All right. I'm just going to... I'm going to have a look at this one very, very quickly. However, I think we do need it because we're using the Django REST framework. OpenAI API specification, formerly Swagger specification, is an API description format for REST APIs. An OpenAPI file allows you to describe your entire API, including available endpoints, operations on each endpoint, and so forth like that. All right, cool. Operation parameters include input and output of each operation, authentication methods, contract information, and license terms of use, and other information. API specifications can be written in YAML or JSON. The format is easy to learn and readable to both humans and machines. The complete OpenAPI specification can be found on GitHub. All right, cool. So it looks like we got to write something. Schema. A schema is a format. All right, cool. Let's just giving out. All right. I just need an example to get this started, even if it's something. Great to do this, get this up and running locally. Alright, so we've done that. What is Swagger? So Swagger is a set of open source tools built around open API specifications that can help you design, build, document, and consume REST API. The major Swagger tool included. And welcome, Jen Lunge. Welcome. Thank you very much for the raid. How are you going? How was your stream? Give you a good shout out. So yeah, and it's okay if you've got a raid and run. That's perfectly fine. I fully understand. All right, Swagger is a set of open. So we've got the Swagger editor, a browser-based editor where you can write OpenAPI that renders OpenAPI in an interactive documentation. CodeGen generates surface nums and client libraries of OpenAPI. Sorry. Definition. Hey, coming along well. Did a short coding session moving from NoSQL to Postgres. Oh, nice. So yeah. It's been a while since I've used NoSQL. I did use it in a project many years ago that had geolocation data in it. So yeah, it was actually really a lot of fun. And I think we use MongoDB, if memory's serving me correctly, and it had a bunch of functions in it which were actually really awesome. So we were able to find out on a map. We broke up a country into little small segments, and we're like, all right, cool, if I'm right here, what segment am I in? And we were able to, through just inbuilt functionalities, find that which polygon we were in. Pretty cool stuff. But yeah, I haven't used it in a couple of years, sadly. Swagger editor, next beta, browser based. All right, cool. We've got Swagger Core, Java, no, parser, standalone. Yep, provides a single unified structure for describing APIs across various. All right, cool. For those that have joined, yeah, we've just made changes to our API in NearBeach. If you don't know what NearBeach is, it is an open source project management system. This is production. I shouldn't actually be showing that anymore. You can collect customer details. You can grab customer requirements and break them down into requirement items, and then from there create tasks and projects to assign to people. And then when you've also got a Kanban board, and also when you're ready to deploy, you've got a request for change. So yeah, that's NearBeach. And we've got an API. So for example, API version 0. Let's go project 1. We can grab information from it. Hey, we can find out if there are any links to any other projects with that. We can also look at notes and stuff like that. And we've just hit an ad break. So, going back over to here, ad time. For those on YouTube, once again, you guys don't get ads, but those people on Twitch do get ads. The ads are just stopped. They're pre-rolled ads, so when people actually join the stream, they won't get an ad. So, yeah. And during this time, I don't work on NearBeach. I instead usually solve a Rubik's Cube, or just talk, or rant about something. I haven't ranted about something in a while. Actually, I think I ranted about something today, but meh. Probably about the English language. Alright, there we go. There's a cube solved again. So, yeah. Hopefully everyone's going well. It is. Oh, it's just past 8:30 here. So, yeah. Can't complain at all. It's Friday. I don't have work tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, just doing this very, very quickly. I think I can beat the ad break. There we go. Did I beat the ad break? No, I didn't. Alright, I failed. There we go. Welcome back, everyone. Alright, so, yeah, we're having a look at Swagger. And just seeing how we can implement it into NearBeach and that sort of whole process. So yeah, it's a bit of a documentation reading at the moment, so I do apologize if that's a bit boring, but I fully understand if you do find it boring. Alright, cool. Why Open API? The ability to, Open API, the ability of APIs to describe their own structure is the root of all awesomeness in Open API. Once written, an API specification and Swagger tools can drive your API development further in various ways. Design first, users use Swagger Code Gen to generate a server stub for your API. The only thing left to implement is the server logic, and your API is ready to go live. Alright, cool. Use Swagger Code Gen to generate client libraries for the API in over 40 languages. Holy hell. That is one thing we actually do want to actually implement is we want to start translating NearBeach soon. So, yeah, so other people can start using it, which will be nice. Alright, so, generate that. Alright, cool. So use the spec to connect API related tools to your API. For example, import the spec to SOAP UI to create automatic tests for your API. Ooh, SOAP UI. All right. However, I do think it's a lot of brightness. I do think we've got the Django REST framework, which will be writing unit tests within that. And the reason why we're going to be more leaning on doing it that way is because we already use it for unit tests for the rest of NearBeach. Sorry, I'm just stretching my shoulder and stuff like that. All right, basic structure. So OS 3, this page is about OpenAPI 3. If you use OpenAPI 2, visit, all right, we're going to use the latest and greatest. You can write OpenAI definitions in YAML or JSON. In this guide, we'll only use YAML examples, but JSON works perfectly well. A sample OpenAPI 3 definition is written like this. So we've got that info, title, sample API, description, optional description. Yeah, all right, cool. Servers, example, version 1. All right, cool. Description, server description, main production server, URL. All right, yep, cool. Path. All right, we've got users, get, returns the list of users, optional extended. All right, cool. Response. All right. Metadata. Every API definition must include a version of the OpenAPI specification that this definition is based on. All right, cool. Yep. Oh yeah, that's just at the top, and then info. The OpenAPI version defines the overall structure of the API definition, of what you can document and how you can document. OpenAPI 3 uses semantic versioning, add 3-part version number, the available version 3. Yep. All makes sense. The info section contains the title, description, and version. All right, cool. So, we will be on 0.0.0 because we're on the version 0 at the moment. Actually, no, it'll be 0.0.1 because we're now patching it. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just thinking how I'm going to do the versioning. That's pretty easy. Servers. The servers section provides the API server and base URL. You can find one of several servers such as production sandbox. All right, cool. All API paths are relevant to the server example. All right, cool. In our sort of case, we're definitely going to be using the examples still stuck in there. Yeah, just because you actually self-host. That's all. And then the paths section, individual endpoints of the paths of the API and the HTTP method operation supporting these endpoints, for example. All right, cool. Now we've got sorry, I'm just having a quick think. I'm trying to word this properly. We've got some cases where we have the destination location ID. That will need to be figured out also how we're going to document that. All right, easy done. All right, so yep, all right, cool. I think this is going to guide us through a bunch of stuff. What I actually want to do is I want to set this up. So I want to get this set up and we can go ahead and start using it and create a documentation and all of that kind of stuff. I don't know if I have to create an account though. Yes. And, oh, sorry. Hey, socks. We've got the Swagger editor, we've got the UI, we've got the code gen, Swagger code gen. So this is Swagger code gen project, which allows generations of API client libraries, SDK generation, server stubs, and documentation automatically given an open API spec. Which allows auto-generate. All right, so we've already got that. So what I actually want to do is I want to go Django REST framework Swagger example. So documenting your API. I'm just going to zoom in so everyone can read. I know that the chat is overlaying on some of it, so I'm just going to do that very, very quickly. All right. I'm just having a look at the video feedback. I'm just gonna whoop that a bit better. All right, documenting your API. REST API should spend almost all of its descriptive effort in defining the media types used for representing the resources and the driven application state. REST framework provides a range of different choices for documenting your API. The following is a non-exhausted list of the most popular ones. So third-party packages for OpenAPI support. We've got DRF Spectacular. I love that name. DRF Spectacular is an OpenAPI 3 schema generated library that will explicitly focus on the extensibility, customization, and client generation. It is a recommended way for generating and presenting OpenAPI schemes. The library aims to extract as much of the scheme information as possible while providing decorators and extensions for easy customization. There is explicitly support for Swagger code gen, Swagger UI, and Redoc, international versioning, authentication, polymorphism, Greek. Yeah, all right, sweet. So probably use that one. The Django, yes, we're good. How have you pronounced that? I don't know. Yes, good. Generating tool implemented without using the schema generation provided by the Django REST framework. Ooh. Alright. It aims to implement as much of the OpenAPI 2 specification as possible nested. Alright, so not number 2. Once again, we'll probably go for number 3, latest and greatest type of thing. So I'm just going to open that up like that. Oh, this one actually has a picture and everything. Built-in OpenAPI schema generator deprecated. All right, cool. Yeah, that's I think this is all deprecated. Self-describing APIs, the browsable API REST framework. All right, so we've purposely actually removed this. We didn't like it. If NearBeach API was completely external from the application itself, then we would probably use it, but it definitely isn't. So we definitely don't want people jumping into this and being like, all right, cool, I can just bypass everything. By using the API, I don't need to use the UI of NearBeach. So yeah, we don't want that. So the winner is DRF Spectacular. So DRF Spectacular. This project has 3 goals: extract as much schema information from DRF as possible, provide flexibility to make the schema usable in the real world, not only toy examples, generate a schema that works well with most popular client generators. This code is heavily modified from the fork of the Django REST framework API generator, which was lacking all of the below listed features. All right, cool. Installation. So we just need to install it now. All right. So we need to install it. We need to get it listed and finally register our speculator auto schema with DRF. So we've got the REST framework. We just need to add it into our sort of code locally. I think we only do this locally. We won't want to do this on a production thing, but we can do it locally. So good thing about NearBeach, if I actually close all these tabs and I minimize this, and let's hit the stop button. Let's minimize everything. Let's open up NearBeach. I'm just gonna go get status first. Cool. Sorry. We have 2 requirement files. We've got a requirements dev text, which is where we can put stuff in like black banded, dot environment, Django storages, and stuff like that, which are only going to be used on our local dev. So we want to do that. We also want to go source VM bin activate, and then we want to pip install read with the requirements dev text. So it just updates everything, so we're happy. We need to add this into our installed apps. So we have a local version. So this is our local. There's only locals will see this here. So we've got the REST framework and all that kind of stuff. We're just gonna put it down here, like so. And then we just need this to be part of the REST framework. So I need to find where I put the REST framework again. So down here, so we've got default schema class. We don't have default schema class. So we're gonna put that in very, very quickly. DRF Spectacular ships with the same default settings that should work reasonably well out of the box. Alright, cool. It's not necessarily necessary to specify any settings, but we recommend to specify at least some metadata. So here's our metadata. And what we want to do is we just want to put that at the very, very end. So we want to DRF I've just fat fingered everything. So I'm just going to copy this. Alright, so this will be the NearBeach API description of your project. So NearBeach is an open source project management system. Alright, cool. We are actually on 001. So this is the very first patch of this. Serve included schema. I'm gonna keep that as a default for the moment. Self-contained UI installation. Certain environments have no direct access to the internet, and as such are unable to retrieve Swagger UI or redox from CDNs. Alright, so as a separate optional package. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, because that can actually happen, is we are going to include that in there. So I'm just going to do that. That'll install it in a fraction of a second. So in here, oops, gotta be careful if I move the treats around. Socks will come back. Should be like, huh? Treats? Oh, more treats. Alright, so in here we got the pip drf spectacular sidecar. We just installed that. So in the install apps, we want to required for Django. Alright, cool. And then I'm going to put these in, because they are right. There could be some devs who don't have access to the CDN and stuff like that for a number of reasons. So we definitely want to put that in. And then I'm just going to copy those. All right, cool. Easy done. Release management, DRF spectacular deliberately stays below version 1.0.0 to signal that every new version may potentially break you. Yep, for production we strongly recommend pinning the version and inspecting a schema diff on update. Easy done. With that said, we aim to be extremely defensive. WRT breaking API changes. I don't know, I'm really terrible with acronyms. For those that have been watching me for a while, I struggle with acronyms. However, we also acknowledge the fact that even slight schema changes may break your toolchain, as any existing bug may somehow be used as a feature. Yes! We define version increments with the following schematics. Y-stream increment may contain potential breaking changes to both API and schema. Z-stream increments will never break the API and may only contain schema changes that should have a low chance of breaking it. All right, cool, sweet. Sweet. So I'm not a fuss about this at the moment because yeah, our version at the moment is going to be 0.0.1, and the reason being is we're on sort of we just implemented it. All right. We've still got a lot of way. When I start rolling it out for phase 1, it'll be 0.1.0, and then phase 2 will be 0.2.0, and so forth like that. We might make patches in there. I think that's the best way to do it. All right, cool. I've decided on that. Sweet. Take it for a spin. All right. So we're going to do this. We're going to go all the way over here. I'm just going to clear this. We're just going to paste that in. So we're doing manage spectacular color file schema YML. So YAML. Permission denied. Huh? Hang on. There we go. It just needed the thing. Ooh, error with copy view set. Unable to guest serializer. That's perfectly fine. With the tagged list view set, unable to guest serializer. This is graceful fallback handling for APIs. Consider using generic API view as base class. All right, cool. Yep. If you view, all right. So some of the stuff didn't work. We've also got socks. Come on, sweetie. Oh, I lifted you up then, giving me that squeaky meow. She's like, there you go. You gonna say something to chat? No? All right. She's like, no, I just want to go into bed and annoy you. All right. So, warnings: 21, 11 unique items. Errors: 99, non-unique. All right. I take it. Unable to guess serializer. This is a graceful fallback. All right, I take it didn't create anything. I lie. It actually created something. Sweet. So paths. API. Ooh. All right. PyCharm has automatically sort of done this for us. This is actually really cool. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of edit all of this now. Because some of that, so API version 0, destination location, I want to actually key in some extra information being like destinations will be this, location IDs will be the number of the object. So yeah. That's group and user and all that kind of stuff. All right. Okay. Let's go back to this. I just want to quickly write warning. Link view set could not derive type of path parameter ID because it is untyped, and obtaining query set from the view set. Consider adding a type to the path int ID or annotating the parameter with at extended schema defaulting to string. All right, sweet. So we've got a couple of recommendations for this, which I'm liking. No, I'll drop the cube again. So, yeah, there's a bunch of things which this will tell us to do. We can just implement it and so forth like that. That's not going to be a problem. So going back into this, Docker run. Ooh, all right. Docker run swag adjacent equals this. All right, cool. I'm gonna hit run. Unable to find image. Local. Oh, locally. All right. Yeah. It's just got to download it. All right. That's not a problem. Okay. Okay. I'm just quickly doing this. Sorry, we're just gonna wait for all of this to finish. Just take some time. This is why I play with the cube. So, yeah, I don't go insane waiting for loaders to load. Cool, and there it is, all done. Oh wait, it might have just started the worker. All right, cool. So if I do that, if you also want to validate your schema, you can add the validate flag. All right, cool. 8080. All right, give me a couple of seconds. There we go. All right, cool. I don't know why I've got phpMyAdmin running. I think I've just got something running with that in there. Not a problem. Here's our documentation. So, NearBeach is open source project management. We'll extend that out. We've also got the schema. All right, cool. We've got groups and users. I'm gonna probably change these. All right. So we've got project. We've also got the different endpoints, and I'm just wondering if I can sort of separate it. So we'll have object data, and we'll have objects, object data, and object child. But I don't know if that's plausible. We've got patch project. Okay, cool, yep. Oh, wow. But I want to add a description onto all of these. Project ID is not needed. When you, project, all right, cool. And then the project, open it up. So you got the project, you got the gets. And then, yeah, I've got to write in the instructions and all that kind of stuff in here. But like I said before, I kind of want to put that into the code base so that when this gets generated, it gets automatically generated. Yeah. All right. So parameters, no parameters. All right. Cool. Because yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen it where it's got descriptions in here. So that's the get, and then we've got the post. Yep. And then we've got this, a unique integer identifying of this project. All right. Yep. That's what we want. That will get that information. We've got the put, so this will update. We've got the patch. Oh, I don't think we are using patch. That is something we will have to test out. Because if we're not using patch, we kind of want to remove it from the instructions, and that should be easy to do. And then we've got delete, and yeah, and then yeah, kind of want to... Yeah, I need to send this out a little bit more. Okay, no problem. Once again, this is our first time we're actually doing this. This is actually pretty cool how this comes up really, really fast. All right, so let's look at Swagger. All right, let's all right, it looks like we have to pay. Find the perfect plan to elevate your all right, cool. Individual, yeah, no, we're not doing that. Anyway, give me a couple of what am I trying to say? I don't know. Oh, drop the camera. Sorry. There we go. Give me a minute. I'm just going off to the bathroom again. I will be right back. So yeah, enjoy Socks. Hopefully she entertains you. I won't be long. Alright, I am back and it's a lot warmer in this room. And the ads are back. Alright, cool. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, we are getting somewhere. So, yeah, I don't... Let's see if there's a... Swagger UI is a free and open source. Oh, okay, yep. Then where was I? Now it says try for free. Yeah, it goes back into this pricing. Swagger specification and it's free to use, license under that. However, the hosting of the cloud version of Swagger called Swagger Hub price starts at $75 a month, which is not what we want to do. Okay. Alright, so installation, we publish 3 modules, npm, alright, cool. Installation, npm install that, alright. Okay, we'll probably end up using Docker. Or something like that. All right, cool. So we're going to fall back, and then we can have our Swagger docs self-hosted. That's not going to be a problem. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted with the cube. All right. And Res1 Coder, how are you going? Welcome back. Hopefully you've been going well. So, this is our Swagger docs. Once again, I do like it. It's easy, it's simple. It's not in alphabetical order though, which is annoying. But we can fix that up. Okay, so... yeah, we still need the schemas and all that kind of stuff. All right, cool. Give me 1 minute. I am just grabbing some more tea. I'll be right back. Okay, got myself a tea. Gonna put the tea right there. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to actually improve this. And how are we going to improve it? Well, I don't know. We're going to have to read the docs. So one of the things which we could potentially improve is up here. We've got a bunch of sort of errors and stuff like that. So we can try and get rid of these errors by simply just going to copy. Going over here, I'm going to zoom this back. And we're just going to paste and go. I'm going to close what we don't need. So we won't need that. We won't need that. We won't need that. We've got the... we'll have... just minimizing that. OPI... basic structure. We'll have that like that. Can I have Swagger with grouped sections? All right. Grouping options with tags. All right. So we've got pets, store, and all that kind of stuff. You can assign a list of tags to each API operation. Tag operations may be handled different by tools and libraries. For example, Swagger UI uses tags to group and display operations. So, tags, pets, store. So, we've got, that's exactly what we want. So, we need to actually put that into our documentation. And I've just realized I've closed the thing of the thing. So, oh, look at socks. Oh, it's usually, yeah. She's like, okay. So going over here, what we want is we want drf that one. We're just gonna paste it into. We're just going to look for this spectacular documentation, which is what we want. We're going to zoom in for everyone. So, we've got requirements installation. Take it for a spin. We've just taken it for a spin. Usage works pretty well out of the box. You might want to set some metadata for your API. Just create a spectacular settings discovery in your settings.py and override the defaults. Have a look at the available settings. All right, sweet. Toy examples do not cover your cases, no problem. You can heavily customize how your schema will be rendered. Customizing using the @extend schema. Alright, so most customization cases should be covered by the extend decorator. We usually get pretty far with specializing, yep, and splitting. Alright, cool. So, send schema, request, alert, response to one. Alright. Yep. that's yeah, it just means that we've got to do that for everything, which is fine. Extend schema. That's for the list. So parameters, name equals artist, description filtered by artist, required equals false. All right, cool. Yeah, so we do all this in the code, and then that will just pass on parameters, provide, all right, schema. Okay, cool. Anyway, we're going to have a look at this particular thing in here. So, I'm getting the following error when trying to generate the schema. Error, get token unable to guess serializer this gracefully fallback handle of the API view is considering using a generic API view as view class base. If a view is under your control, either way you may want to add a serializer class or method. Alright, so what I actually kind of want to do is they're right. And I've just realized that I have done something that I need to do properly. So, if I go into the code, let's remove some of all of that. So we're happy with that. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to open up this. I'm going to open up our NearBeach APIs. So views, APIs, object data. I'm going to go group user and all that kind of stuff. Now in here, we're using this as the serializer and stuff like that. So if I go up here and I go, oh, how do I do it? So, Django REST framework, set serializer. We do it at the class, don't we? Yeah. Serializer, definitely. Hang on, I think I did it for project. Serializer class, that's it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and then I should just type in group and use a serializer. Now, yes, so okay, so Django REST framework, serializer class. So we've got the generic views. So we've got the user serializer there. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's just for more complex case, you might want to override the various methods. All right, cool. So what I want to do is, if we've done that for groups and users, I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to rerun this. We should no longer see groups and users in here. So warning, groups and users could not determine the path parameter of ID because it's untyped and obtaining a query set from the value view set failed. All right, so consider, all right, I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna copy this properly. I'm gonna go over here, we're gonna paste it, and we're gonna, all right, cool. So in here, I'll see in the same warning. I fixed it with the below code. Note that OpenAPI parameter will need name, type, location for this to work. So you got the request. All right, open extend schema. Easy done. Okay, so we're going to be doing that anyway. But first, we've got something quick and easy to fix. So we are going to copy this. We're going to go into each one of these. And we are going to do the proper schemas. So this schema itself would be the link serializer. Easy done. This will be the note serializer. This will be pane. That was a joke. Object sprint serializer. And this will be tag serializer. All right, easy done. That should get rid of all of our warnings. Sorry, all of our most of our errors. So customer list view set. So that would be up here. So we don't have for all of them. So up here, destination serializer. Customer list serializer. All right. So I'm just having a quick think. I might have written this a bit wrong, this particular one. In this specific case, we do need the destination coming through and stuff like that, but it's one of those things that I don't think using multiple serializers work. So to do, look at moving this destination serializer into the generic for this class. That way it'll help the docs. All right, cool. So in this sort of case anyway, we're just going to paste that in. We're going to do that. We're going to go up here. We are going to type in custom list serializer, which is what we want. This one, check, yeah, we need to still check. All right, not a problem. So we want to go into here. We still want to check to see if we need permissions. That's perfectly fine. Whilst I'm doing that, I'll go sprint list serializer, easy done. And then with here, we're going to do the same thing in here, but we're just going to go tag list serializer. All right, and this one's fine in this sort of case. Yeah, so okay, I'm gonna redo this thing. Now we've got the coffee view set. Coffee view set. All right, I did forget one. Coffee API. We don't actually have one. I don't know if that's going to throw up an issue. Alright, it didn't throw up an issue. We do have a bunch of warnings. So, could not derive type or path. Alright, so API because, yep, alright. Once again, that's just part of the process. Alright. So our next thing that we want to do is definitely close that tab because it annoys me, is essentially do the extend schema. So we're going to jump onto this and have a look at the extend schema. So we've got the parameters. So this one has extend album creation serializer. Ah, all right. I like that. Okay, so what this is going to do for us is, with this extend schema, for that other one with the to-do, we can be like, all right, cool. In this sort of case, we have this sort of serializer and so forth like that. So I'm going to fix that up right away. So I'm going to close all tabs. I'm going to go into, what was it, the sprint list? No, customer. Dude, look at moving this destination. Yeah, so instead of doing something complicated, we can paste this in. We can get rid of this. We can then undo what I've just done because that was in the silly place. All right, so we will undo that because what we'll do up here will be like destination serializer, and then we can go the 401. This will actually be part of the custom list serializer, so that is fine. So it accepts the destination serialization and so forth like that. We do need to import this. That's perfectly fine. I'm just going to cheat. I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to do that. So that is up there. All right, sweet. And then if I do something like that and I quickly look for what were we editing, customer list API. We don't have anything in there at the moment, but that is good. So yeah, excuse me, I am just pouring myself a cup of tea. I'll put that there. Okay. So, going back to here, we'll still need to fill out all of this. But that's good to know that I can do something like that, where we've got something that's different. We've got a request serializer and a response serializer. Now this should be a 201. I think this is just meant to be, this is actually meant to be a 200. So those that want to know what a 201 is, it is created destruction. And then, yeah, we've got all of these other ones. Okay. So, parameters, OpenAI parameter, name, artist, description. All right, cool. That's done at this particular level. All right, sweet. We are... description, more descriptive text. Overrides the default doc string. Auth, none. All right, so we'll still need that. Operation ID equals none. Change the auto-generated operation. All right, cool. Or even completely override the auto schema would generate. All right, no, we don't need to do any of that. Attach examples. Ooh. All right, I like that. I really do like that. Because that would mean in some examples, I can be like, all right, cool, this is what is actually happening and so forth like that. I like this. I actually do really like this. All right, cool. So I just need to play around with this. Sorry, just getting distracted. Okay. I don't think we need all of this. Request that, response that, methods post. Ooh, all right, yep. Okay, extend schema, override, right. Description, override specific method, methods dot get, all right. All right. Okay, I'm just wondering what to work on this first. So I'm just rebuilding everything. I kind of want to fix the top one first. So the groups and users. Let's stick with groups and users. I don't need this green anymore, so I'm just exiting out of it. So we're going to go up in here. We're going to close this one. We'll be fine with that because this API is rather small at the moment because it's just a vertical slice. If we edit everything and do everything now, when we actually do the other objects, it's literally just copying, pasting, and just modifying. Which is what we want, which is why we've done it like this. So, we've got the groups and users in here. We've got the create up at the top. So, we've got the groups and users serializer. That should pick that up automatically. So groups and users could not determine the path of your ID because, all right, so that one's fine. So we've got the destroy. So we had this on here. So we're just going to paste this in very, very quickly. We've got the extend schema. I'm just going to cheat and I'm going to get this to auto import it. Request your serializer or none. So this is going to be the groups and user serializer. Easy done. The response is also going to be the groups and user serializer. And then the open parameters are I'm going to import that. I should do that. And we should always have commas at the end of things. So the opening API would be the name equals ID. The type is string. No, it's not. Location API dot path. Okay, no. So this. This is a bit, I'm going to have to, now I need, damn it. Now I need Postman. All right. There. Oops, I accidentally put that one on. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to do that and cry a little inside. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to do terminal and then realize, no, I don't want terminal. I'm mucking this one up completely, aren't I? There we go. So, what I want to do is I want to have a look at my lists. My collections. This is part of the groups and lists and stuff like that. So with the delete, we've got the authorization and then we've got the body. So the 0, oh yeah, this is one of those sort of cases where the name isn't just unwanted ID. The type is going to be int. I think that's going to be like that. We'll find out. Where am I going? Over here. All right, terminal. Groups and users could not derive the parameter type. Consider adding in int ID. Defaulting to string. All right. Now that's the destroy. We've got the list. We've got the create. None of them have IDs in there. So I'm just going to be like... PK. All right. Hang on. We'll read the docs. We'll read the docs. So in here, if we have, so that's create. All right, this is extend, this is list. All right, not a problem. Okay. Okay. So that's got artist coming through. So if we go down with list request, all right, no. Int ID, description. I'm just going to put PK. Type is going to be int. Required, ooh, in this sort of case is going to be true. Because, yeah, we'll need to send it through. And we've got an ad break. All right, ad time. Hopefully everyone's going well. We have socks right here. For those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour. On Twitch, you guys don't get ads, so don't worry about it. The idea being is anyone who joins on Twitch doesn't get pre-rolled ads. It's for an hour and it's for 90 seconds. It's not that long. It's a good time to have a break, ask some questions, rant, you know, do the Rubik's Cube. So yeah. All right, so hopefully everyone's going well tonight. We have socks right here, down there. She is just relaxing. The new cat, Patty, is in the living room, also relaxing and wondering whether socks will come up behind him and hiss at him. Yeah. Alright, getting this solved very, very quickly as I can. Okay, cool. There we go. Alright, we've got about 10 seconds left. Alright, and there we go. And welcome back, everyone. You didn't miss anything. So yeah, we're just going to go in here. We're just going to do that. So description, filtered by an artist, required equals true, etc. All right. Not a number required. However, leave as 0. Okay, cool. Now, the reason why this is like this is because I could get it to work without a number being there and so forth like that. So we just got a number in there. We'll try and fix this up one day. But yeah, otherwise, not needed. Let's go into here. Let's do this. Let's do that. And then we've got the groups. All right, warning groups and users view set. Untyped. All right. I don't know what it's complaining about now. Number 17. Let's get rid of this. I'm just yanking these. I don't know if this will work. It's worth a shot. Go to the user view set. All right. Nah, it didn't work, but that's perfectly fine. All right, so getting into this, we're going to scroll down. I mean, this doesn't like that at all. Could not. Yeah, I'm just going to Google this. All right, cool. They got that. Get the query set. They got the get the query set. All right, cool. This is having exactly as designed. Use query set attribute if available. Get the model. If query set. Option 1 has the least amount of surprises, which is why it's done first. All right, use query set attribute if available to get the model. All right, cool. Yep. If query set not available, try to call get query set and get the model that one. All right, I might not be in the. Yeah. All right. Maybe expanding the warning that and query set will work to make sense. That is what I usually do, but that might not be obvious to anyone. If you don't like the implicit nature of how this is used with the DRF, get query set before query set. All right, cool. So I would be expecting something like this. All right. Alright, and Ashes of Owls! Welcome, welcome! How are you going? You get to see Socks right here, right now. She's like half asleep. How's your stream? What were you up to today? How long have you been streaming? Because I'm pretty sure I saw you streaming when it was like 5 or 4 o'clock my time, which was hours ago. Yeah, she's okay today. She's been a bit hissy and a bit growly, but a little less than the other days. I'm trying to release alpha. I've been debugging all night. Oh, fair enough, but it's finally working. Oh, congratulations. That is awesome news. For those that have joined, we are implementing an API for NearBeach. If you don't know what NearBeach is, it's an open source project management system built on Django and VueJS. It's currently not turned on locally. So yeah, you get to gather basic organization customer details. You've got yourself a Kanban board. You can gather user requirements, break them down into user requirement items. From there, you can create projects and tasks. And when you're ready to deploy, you got requests for changes. Might need this very soon. Well, the best thing is you can easily self-host. And if you want to know, it's just nearbeach.org. In the menu on the top right, not the blog, sorry, the self-hosting is there. It's as simple as copying this Docker code and just changing out these. You also got some information here. So yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for the raid. What we're doing tonight is, oh shoot, I'm making a mess. That's what I'm doing. I've just spilt some tea on my desk. I'm a very smart fella. What we're doing is we've implemented some changes to the API that have been recommended, and now we're looking at the documentation. So the documentation is coming along really, really well. So we're just having a look at these warnings, but if we were to run the Docker, we can actually have a look right now. I am putting my cup on very precarious places. I should actually look where I put things. So this is our API documentation. So I'm going to group things up. So you'll have object data and all that kind of stuff in here, and so forth like that. Yeah. So I'm happy. Ooh, we've got all the schemas in here now. Which is good. So yeah. And then once this is done, we can focus on phase 1. So I'll get some feedback on the new API tonight, and then we'll go running into phase 1, and yeah, start getting all of this sort of set up. Now, one thing I've got to do, I didn't add in the tags, so I wanted to add in tags, so I've got to do that in the code. I think... Oh, that's parameters. That's for the schema and all that kind of stuff. We've got the description, we've got the operation, we've got examples. Yeah, no, it's becoming exciting. Once we get the API done, we can move on to the GDPR and story points. Those story points will be at the more proof of concept level. And then we move into 032. Which is going to fix up some database design issues. We're moving everything to the API. We're focusing on implementing more unit tests and end-to-end tests, UI UX fixes, and hopefully implement types in the code, which is going to be fun. Lots of fun. Actually, I don't mind types. I actually quite like types. They're actually quite good at knowing how the code's going to, like, how data's going to be structured and stuff like that. So in here we've got this OpenAI parameter. I can't spell. I can't speak. This is with destroy. I'm just going to destroy this one, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. What we've got up here, so that's perfectly fine. This is going to get the correct sort of things. I want to add in tags. So if we have a look at the groups and stuff like that, that would be tags. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go at extend schema. We've got the ID operation string, none parameters. Yep, all right. So I'm just going to be like tags equals, and I think it's going to be an array. And we're going to type in object data. And we're just going to yank those 3 lines. We're going to go all the way down here. We're going to paste those in. Going to paste those in. And we're going to do that for all of this. Now, I don't know if I can do it up here, so I'm going to do it up here. I'm just seeing if this works. If it doesn't work, that's perfectly fine. It just means that we'll save having to put it in multiple places. So I don't see any new errors. We just got warnings. All right, sweet, that's fine. If I refresh, we've got object data. Oh, all right. I like that. So it's got the groups and users, link, notes. All right, even better. So what I would then do, because that's grouped it all into one simple location, and I still want it to have that level. So I'm just going to read the documentation very, very quickly. So we've got the pets. It's got the pets. Do we have a sub tag? Optionally, you can specify a description and external docs. For each tag used by the global tag section on the root level, the tag here should match those. All right, cool. Not exactly what we wanted. But yeah, we're getting closer to what we need. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go object data, and then I'm gonna put note like here, and I'm gonna do the same here. Object data, and then I'm gonna put link, and then with this particular one, I'm going to go object data and create. We just build that very, very quickly. We then launch back in. We're then going to do this. So we still do have object data, but yeah, it's... We still do have link. I think I've mucked this up. Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. We drink more tea. We figure this out. So you can assign tags to each API operation. Tagging operations may handle differently by tools and libraries. Okay, for example, Swagger UI uses tags to group the displayed operations. Okay. We've got pets and stuff like that. Okay, I am going to go back into this one, because what I can look for is tags. It doesn't have tags in here. Damn it. Tags extraction. All right. We got one-on-one match. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of these tags. And the reason being is we're going to go back and see what actually happens. I only put it in 3 places. So it should be easy to sort of rebuild everything. Oops. It's my Swagger. Oh, the workflow was done. Perfect. Just going to close. So groups and users. All right, so that, and then we've got the link. Yeah, I was just wishing we had a heading above this. Because I kind of want groups and users and stuff like that. So group multiple endpoints. No. Oh, hang on. Multiple. All right. No, not what I wanted. Swagger group. All right. How can I group endpoints by party, which is decorate? Grouping with tags. Okay. Okay. Another thing I could look up, Swagger, multi-level group. All right, group operations, multi-levels and tree like. I'm new to Swagger, but I really like it. I'm rewriting our backend to be a REST REST web API. I don't know why I said API a dozen times then. We have a controller in many different namespaces, and we have version 2 of our API. Yep, all right, cool. We have the same controller for version 2. Yep. Nested tags are not supported by the OpenAPI specification. All right. You can emulate nested tags by using something like tag1, tag2, but have to modify the source code if you want to render. All right, so that's a big no with what I want to do. That's perfectly fine. We are going to go and do something else. So what I've done is I've gotten this back to what I've got. Extend schema, tags equals. I don't know if tags, and then we want to go open, what is this, object data, group and users. I don't know how well this will work. They're saying like something like tag/tag2, but you have to modify the source code if you want to render them as nested tags, and we don't want to modify the source code. However, I'm going to open up this just in case someone's come along and been like, oh yeah, we just changed that. The tag nesting is now implemented with tags allowing a parent tag. Ooh, all right. This is what we want. This is what we need. All right, so going back into here, do we have parent tag? No, we don't. We just got tags equals Swagger parent tag. That's 8 years ago. That is not what we wanted. However, that is... nested tags is not supported. However, note for Swagger UI users, there's a feature request to support nested tags using name tags. And all right, cool. I am... I'm just going to do that. Probably won't work, and that's fine. We're just playing around with it. We don't have any problems with it. There's our UI. All right. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. No, it's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted at all. Let's go tags. I know why. Sorry, it wasn't an array, it was a string, and yeah. Okay, getting back into this, let's see if I've fixed that up. So we've got groups and users. All right. Not doing... Let's actually put something else in. So I want to do like this, and I'm going to do it with the link API. And I'm just going to paste it in there. We're going to change this and go link. Okay, I don't know if this will work. We'll figure it out. This is fun. Okay. Object data, object data. That's looking better. However, I haven't written what parent tags are in here yet. All right. Okay. Tag security schemas. I'm just having a quick look at this. Now it is 10 p.m. I do finish up very shortly, so I am going to snooze the ads because we don't want them to start just before I raid someone. So yeah. All right. I'm just... Okay, you can try to emulate. Note for Swagger UI users, there is a feature request to support using that. So I'm just going to go into this. Did they implement it? Have changed their code or using older version of functions instead of the plugin. All right, all right. So, yes, socks. I am trying to think. How can we do this? I've implemented and published a plugin for this. Instructions are here. It works with ES modules. All right, cool. Tags plugin. Oh, don't you dare jump. Come here. Come on. Yes, it's okay. I am probably going to ask around to see if anyone knows how I can do this properly and stuff like that. I've got a couple of people who might have used Swagger before. The idea being is we want to group a lot of this sort of data up here and flag it, being like, okay, this is object data. Notes will be also object data and stuff like that. We'll also need the descriptions and everything in there. And then we'll have the objects down here. Yeah, we've got to do that ID and all that kind of stuff too. So, yeah. Let's find someone to raid. It is 10 o'clock. It's late for me. I need to do the dishes because I have not done them in a couple of days. Oh, Matt Bird does quest. Is he... we'll do a clear task. I do believe he's programming at the moment. In this 24 hours. I don't think he is programming at the moment. Sorry, I just want to be able to... Someone who is actually programming or hacking or something like that. So anyway. Let's raid 0 day. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming tonight. It has been wonderful. We got a lot done. We're getting the API docs almost done, so I'll put them in their own feature branch and get that all sorted. Yeah, it looks like we're getting there. Anyway, I do hope you enjoy 0 days. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone, and I shall see you next time. And for those on YouTube, thank you very much for coming along. Sorry you guys can't follow me to the next place, but I hope to see you next time. Thank you very much. Don't forget